going into a program expecting to play, and then being told, no, you can't do that, and then it's a year setback. Like that seems like the most adverse situation you could possibly be in.
One of them. I mean, there's injuries that come up. There's losing a football game. All those things. But I mean, that was not an easy moment for Darryl Jackson or our program. But to see him show up the next day and go to practice and go back to work, I think will lend to his life experiences a lot. It'll positively impact him for a lot longer than just not being able to play last year.
Exactly.
Yeah, thanks.
Hi, Coach.
Hey, buddy.
What's a position group you're like most excited to see through spring?
Yeah, I mean it's hard, just to, I think all three levels of the defense has its scenarios that I'm really anxious to see how it plays out, and looking forward to working with it and trying to mold it and get it right. I mean, there's really not a position where you can say, well, I mean, there are some individuals that are like, I feel really good about what they've done in the past, where they're at now, and just going back to work to see how good that product could be for them. I just think collectively there's just so many pieces that I know can be really good. We just got to mold them to be good together.
Definitely. Can we go through like each position group and kind of come up with like a storyline, I guess, or like theme of what you're looking to see progress? Like starting with maybe like the interior defensive line or something, and what you're looking for there.
Yeah, I mean, the D line. I mean, right away, other than Josh Farmer, it's Darryl Jackson, Danny Lyons, KJ Sampson, Grady Kelly. There's not much production out of that group that has played here, but all four of those guys have the ability to play winning football. So as long as you go about that work with that group the right way, which I know we will, and you get the right reps with those guys, you've automatically built 5 deep at that position. And so that's kind of our mindset that, Josh has played a ton of football, but the next 4 all have certain levels of ability, but they're all capable to have impacts for us next fall. And so now it's just, there's never a wasted rep in that group, because of the lack of experience, but the high upside of a lot of guys that are in that group.
Is when you mention like the upside and what that can do for the defense, I think of like Daniel Lyons in particular, of a guy who might have a really high ceiling, could like this be his breakout season potentially. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, you've seen that happen for us. You know what I mean? I mean, you've seen that happen 2 years ago with Shyheim Brown, right? He got redshirted, nobody really talked about him. Next thing you know, he's one of the better safeties in the league. Through what happened with Pat Payton. Obviously a defensive tackle for Danny, that's a little bit different process because of the physicality that it takes, so it takes a little bit longer to develop. But I'm hoping this needs to be one of those breakout years for Danny, because that'll really help our football team.
Definitely. And then defensive end, is there a guy like that in that room that you could like foresee really taking a step and kind of elevating where that team is?
That'll be because Pat's taking steps every year, so that needs to continue. Byron Turner helped us significantly last year and played as our 3rd or 4th defensive end, so his play is going to get better. Then you got 3 transfers, so that's all about just developing. But then that next group of like Jaden Jones has had a really good offseason. So I'm excited to see what that looks like for him this spring.
Well, what does that look like for him? Like when you say he has had such a good offseason, what has he done? What has stood out about him?
He gained weight, he runs fast, and he's much stronger than he ever was.
Gotcha, understood. I mean, guys, you didn't mention like the transfers coming into that room. Who really excites you there, and what can they bring to the team?
All 3 do, because we said yes.
Gotcha.
But I mean, Marvin's got, since the day he came here and worked out for us during recruiting when we could work him out here, like we knew he had the traits to be really good in our system, and just took him a couple of years to realize that he knew he could too. And so, I think we've got, I'm not going to put a ceiling on what he can accomplish. Newsie's played a lot of football, and just the physicality and energy that he's played with, and then you put him in our system on how I know it will look for him, and I think like he's the ultimate teammate. Like he just cares so much about others, and like he's just got a lot of great factors that we kind of enjoy coaching. I think Newsy will have that impact. He'll be he'll have a point of attack physicality to him too that I think was probably when we had here. Thomas.
Definitely.
So, and then Tamawa, he's kind of a tweener from a standpoint. I mean, he's super long. He's got 3 years of eligibility, but he's he played last year a bunch of football at West Virginia, and he will play all along the front. We'll use him at defensive tackle. We'll use him at defensive end. We'll kind of move him in and out. And he just, the greatest thing about Tomoa, when you ask him, like, he just wants to get better and he just wants to get coached, and he'll get that here.
Do you think he's kind of the most like Swiss Army knife of even maybe the whole defense, like kind of like a Dennis Briggs in a way?
It's easy to say that because of what I just said, so
Yeah.
maybe, but I don't. I mean, Nusi maybe I'll play inside on third downs, but we're talking about first and second down. I mean, really, Tommy's the one that we're going to play a little bit more along the front.
I got you.
How refreshing is Sione in the sense where he appreciates everything he gets to do?
Yeah, I mean, we've done that. I mean, Braden Fisk walked through the halls every day last year and used to wink at me and shake his head like, Coach, I don't even have to pay for this. And like, so I think when you get guy like, we had Nusi over the house a couple weeks ago, and he got to meet my wife and my kids, and they were fat because he just actually went back to Tonga during spring break, and he had to go back to Fiji to go take care of some paperwork. But just for that kid to make those decisions at that young age, to come to the States, to follow his dream, to make the moves, to learn English, to be as polished as he is at this point in his career, I mean, it's just, it's inspiring as an adult to see somebody his age go through what he's gone through just because he loves playing.
I know you don't like to anoint somebody a leader to they become it, but does Shyheim Brown have the qualities
Yes.
it takes? Yeah.
Yep.
And have you seen that just progress with him?
Yes.
It seemed like
he's
last
been like
season,
that since the day he got here. It was just, I had to get him out of quit worrying about others. He tried to help others. He had just so far to go himself that I had to try to redirect his energy all the time. It wasn't his fault, but like, we had a lot of things that we had to clean up for him to get himself to play to his potential. So now that leadership skill should really show, and we're there now, and it's important for him, and he'll be a vital piece to this team.
What is
You
there
can't
left
pause.
to?
You need
I'm
to have a
pondering.
question.
Yeah. What is there left to see from Shyheim? Where can he still elevate?
Yeah, I mean, his tackling, his ability to play the ball better, his ability to be probably the consistent communicator that we need in the back end. Those three things.
Gotcha. And then back to what we were talking about before, like with linebacker, what's something you're really looking to see in the spring from that group?
DJ's the only one that's played a lot, so they've all played special teams. I told those other guys. So now it's about a group of 4 of those guys that all will play for us. They just got to sort out the playing time, the roles here in the spring.
Sean Murphy's an intriguing guy too. Like, what stands out about him, and why were you guys interested in him in the transfer portal?
Yeah, he's just super athletic. He's got all the size potential, smart, cares for his teammates, is real passionate about getting better.
You guys took some really talented DBs in the 2024 class. Which of those guys have like really stood out so far in the offseason, and which are you?
It's hard to say with the new ones.
I gotcha.